So, has peer-to-peer always existed? Is it something that's very old, or is it a recent thing?
Well, it's both old and new. It's old in the sense that probably for most of human history, apart from the last 3,000–4,000 years, the people were living in small communities, and there was no state separate from the people that could oppress them in a way. So probably you could say that wherever people were together in small numbers, they were somehow doing peer-to-peer. The thing is, as soon as you reach a certain limit, say 150 people, this has actually been studied, it's called the Dunbar number. It's kind of a limit to how many relationships people can manage on their own in a small group. As soon as you go beyond that, so as society becomes more complex, you have hierarchy, which is a kind of simplifying of those relationships. And then suddenly you can only relate in certain ways as dictated by the top of the hierarchy. Yeah.
So is peer-to-peer different now than it was in the past? Like, because we still have groups.
The difference is that we finally invented a technology that allows people to work in small groups, even in big projects, and even when they're not together. So that's a big difference.
Okay.
So I'm not saying technology is the cause of it, but technology is certainly an enabling factor, and it's probably, societies. I mean, a hierarchy kind of what it says is that the whole should not be more complex than the one person deciding at the top. Now that's breaking down everywhere. The complexity of technology of society is such that you can't do that anymore. So we looked for and invented technology which allows us to go beyond hierarchy. And so peer-to-peer is different in that sense that today it's technology dependent. You look at those big projects like Wikipedia and Linux, okay, yes, hundreds of thousands of people are working on it, but if you then look at how they're working on it, well, it's basically small teams.
It sounds a lot like communism or like Marx, but is it? Of course, we know through communism that it was ended up in these huge hierarchies, even though it was going on about the workers. Yeah. How's it relate to that?
Well, it has actually nothing to do with communism as understood being the Soviet Union, or those centralized systems are the complete opposite of peer-to-peer. Now it has something to do with the ideal that eventually, what Marx said, how is it again? Each gives according to his ability, and each gets on the basis of need. So, well, yes, in that case, when you do a Linux or Wikipedia, you volunteer for the project and you make it common, and then anybody can use it. Yeah. So in that sense, there is a relationship.
Okay.
Now, it's not idealistic. I don't know if you want to hear that story, but that's something that's often said that, well, that's too idealistic, right?
Right.
I would say no, because it's really based on different ways of people acting for their own benefit. Yeah, so it's like you have different stages. The basic stage is you're just doing it for yourself, but the mere fact that different people are doing the same thing for themselves is actually beneficial for the group. Like Dell, you order your computer, you configure it on the net. Well, for Dell, they're learning all that stuff from all these people doing it, even though everybody's doing it on its own. The second step is you're doing it for your own, but you know that you're also sharing at the same time. And those are the new Web 2.0 projects, like Delicious, you're sharing bookmarks. Flickr, you're sharing photos. YouTube, you're sharing videos. You're still doing it for yourself, but you know you're doing it in group, and that you benefit from the other people doing it. So that's kind of like a step up. And the most advanced step, if you like, is when you know you're actually producing something in common as a group. And that's Linux and Wikipedia. So there's a hierarchy of cooperation, of sharing, and in each case, you're doing it also for yourself. Yeah, if you join a project like Wikipedia, you give a little bit, but you get everything that everybody's doing. So it's really beneficial. There's also a way in which giving is receiving, like if you're in a family and with your children, you're not asking yourself, what am I getting back? Because actually the mere fact of giving is what gives you the pleasure. So many people are actually collaborating because it's fun, because they like to share, they like to do stuff together.